You know, long before there was an I Can Only Imagine, or I Still Believe, or other movies that have the word I in them, way back in 2013, there was a Christian movie about a Christian recording artist known as Rich Mullins. The name of the movie was Ragamuffin, and my unofficial review is, it's pretty great. But there is so much more to say about this movie, which is why I had the director of the film on my podcast, which you can go check out right now anywhere podcasts are sold. Fortunately, it's free, and it's available right now in the description. But if you want things that aren't free, but are worth it, SGK Plus is my subscription service. Bonus contents galore. It's awesome. Check it out. All right, enough plugging my stuff, and let's jump into this movie review that everybody's been waiting for. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my review of I Still Believe. Is it the greatest movie ever made? I don't know that anybody's claiming that it is, but a lot of people are saying a lot of things about this movie, but probably not as much as they would have. So far, when I've talked about this movie, I've been fairly positive. I did an initial reaction. If you want to check that out, you can, you should. It's a pretty good review, and I think I say some things in there that I won't be saying in this review right now. One thing I did say in there that I will say again, because I know some of you won't go and watch that video, I understand that, I get that, is that I feel a little bit bad for that movie. Why? Well, because it released the week the lockdown started, which is really unfortunate. We have no idea how well this movie would have done in the box office. Maybe it would have done way better, maybe it wouldn't have done nearly as well, we'll never know, and that's just unfortunate. It's not like I think my review is going to hurt or benefit a movie. It's just I don't like kicking anything when it's down. I really like movies.
Gosh, I love movies.
I don't want to be a jerk to one when it just, I feel bad. I felt bad, okay? But there is a sliding scale of sorts when it comes to how bad I feel for a movie versus how bad I feel for not giving my audience what they're asking for, which is a true, honest, straightforward review of a movie. My loyalties aren't with the Christian movie industry. My loyalties are with you, the fans, specifically people who subscribe to me at SGK Plus, but also the people who watch. And so, it's time. The time has come. The good, the bad, and the not-so-ugly lead actors, huh? This is the Erwin Brothers' latest film, the follow-up to their film I Can Only Imagine, which I also reviewed. You can check that out, too. This is actually, though, their 5th film, but it's the first in their Kingdom Storytellers deal with Lionsgate. It's apparently the most important thing to ever happen to Christian movies ever.
It's a new day for Faith Film, and it starts very soon.
It's the greatest deal ever inked between some Christian filmmakers and a studio. Grab your life, and get ready for my movie night review of I Still Believe, Kingdom Story Company. Is that a pretentious name? We're not a production studio. We're a story company based on a true story. They always are. In the case of the Erwins, true is it's up for interpretation. It seems they kind of take the Disney sports movie approach. I find this especially funny with the movie Woodlawn because it's like the true story, like it's a documentary. But if you check out my review, am I doing this too much? This is what YouTube says the algorithms want. Woodlawn. Hopefully now it shows up in your suggestions. It goes through kind of the facts versus fiction. Let's get into the facts about the Christian recording artist Jeremy Camp. 1999, the greatest time, especially when it comes to Christian music. I mean, wow, 99, was that not the greatest Christian compilation album ever made? If you don't think so, you're lying to yourself, or you're just too young to remember what that is. Well, the movie begins in one of the most cliche ways possible. It's a flyover shot, of course, and then we've got a boy waking up. I don't know why that bothers me so much. I mean, it's a perfectly legitimate way to start a story, but it also feels like, hey, guys, we just signed this deal with Lionsgate, and they really want us to put out something just like the last movie we did. Quick, what do we got? Here we are with Archie. I mean, Jeremy Camp Wink, wink. And he's getting ready for college in the most 1999 way possible.
Hey, not my head.
I'm sorry. This is 2 weeks before Underdog came out. You don't think he would have had the free poster from CCM or Breakaway magazine hanging on the wall? Come on, Jeremy Camp.
Watch this. Kirk to Enterprise. You try it.
Nah, I'm more of a Picard guy. Here we see Jeremy is the nicest guy you could ever imagine meeting. He gives his flip phone to his little brother, who isn't just, I don't know how to say this, so I'm not even gonna bring it up.
But I want you to have this.
But that's your phone.
I'll get another one.
What you don't see, his little brother also has to take over the payments for the plan. And back then in 1999, that was like an insane amount of money. There were no family plans back then. So he ended up going broke, but they left that part out of the movie. Wow, our son is amazing. I'm really looking forward to how they're gonna have any sort of character development since he's already so extremely likable. And to drive home how awesome and selfless and perfect this character is, Jeremy Camp refuses to take his father's guitar.
You play it 10 times more than I do.
Dad, I'm not taking your guitar.
And as a reward for this selfless act, his parents get him a new guitar.
For me, music is a hobby. For you, it's a gift.
How could he have known he was gonna end up becoming a mediocre Christian recording artist?
What would you have done if he took your old guitar?
I would have kept that one.
Hey, guy! Do you mind? This is the first of a few things that Jeremy does in this movie that the movie seems completely unaware of how douchey it makes him seem. I still believe. Then finally, after a bunch of long, sweeping aerial shots, Jeremy arrives at college. Now, these are the types of details I really appreciate. Clearly, they're displaying that he is a real musician because it looks like he's only packed 3 pairs of clothes. And boy, Jeremy can't even believe how awesome Calvary Bible College is.
Welcome to Calvary Chapel College.
I mean, it's no Patrick Henry or Liberty University, but yeah, it's pretty good. And when Jeremy gets into his dorm room, he sees something that really excites him. No, come on, this is a Christian movie. See? Whoa! The cry? The cry? The very cry? If they weren't on Wow 99, I'm not interested. Now, I know most of you would have gone for the llama rescue fundraiser. Think about the Dalai Llamas? Really? But no, Jeremy's a different kind of guy. Wait, John Gunn? John Gunn helped write this? I actually like that guy. He directed Case for Christ, and he didn't direct God's Not Dead 3 or anything. Don't even know why I brought it up. Well, if he wrote it, can't be all that bad, right? We finally get into the story. Jeremy Camp, he lies his way into this Christian concert.
Hold up.
Hey, man, Norm sent me to help load in.
Norm did?
Yeah.
Who's Norm?
Where he gets to meet the lead guy from the band. You know, The Cry. That band that I've never heard of. To be fair, maybe I saw their album in the catalog for Sound and Spirit CD Club, but come on, you only got 12 CDs for 1 penny plus shipping and handling. I wasn't gonna waste it on some band I didn't know when there were so many Skillet albums to buy. But apparently, Jeremy does know who this guy is, and he is a huge mega fan.
Hey, man, you're Jean-Luc, right?
I'm more of a Kirk guy myself, but...
Dude, I love your music. You're like the reason I came to school here. You're a legend.
Oh, don't know about that.
I don't know. This is always the kind of thing that happens in the Erwin Brothers movies, and it's so weird. Both I Can Only Imagine and this one, they have these people who the film treats like they're super famous people. I get it in a movie like this when it's Johnny Cash and he bumps into Elvis, or when it's Loretta Lynn and she meets Patsy Cline. Like, cool. That's a fun cameo. But most people don't know who this person is. Most people don't know who Jeremy Camp is. Think of it this way. What if they made a movie about me? I don't even know why they would do that. But then they have to include as a little cameo that time that I met the YouTuber Houston Productions 1. It's for such a small niche audience, you wouldn't treat it like, well, it goes without saying, it's him. It's Houston Productions 1. I have to do this with my podcast when I have a guest on. Sometimes I label the podcast just the guest's name, but sometimes I'm introducing somebody to the audience that they don't know. I don't expect them to know who it is, and so maybe I'll label it something like Exploring the World of Christian Film with author and psychologist Dr. James Dobson. Unless this is intended to be strictly a Jeremy Camp fan film, it's a weird storytelling move. Have I hammered this home enough? I hope so. It's important.
Anyway, I was wondering if, I could ask you some questions sometime about music.
And this is where we get our first real and only indication that Jeremy has a flaw or an unmet desire. A character, you know? He asks this question.
The industry, how to make it?
He wants to make it. All right, that's something the movie can work with. But Jean-Luc knows the true fundamental foundation to a capitalist system.
It's not about making it. It's about whatever songs give people. Figure that out first.
Yeah.
Ah, now I get the point of the movie. You have to find an extremely niche market and exploit it for all it's worth. Like if you have very mild success reviewing an obscure genre of movies, and then you just spend 6 years doing that over and over again. That's my gift to you. Then Jean-Luc realizes he doesn't typically have fans, so he might as well exploit this one.
Hey,
Yes.
do you know how to tune a guitar?
Well, since Jeremy does know how to tune a guitar, he's able to act as Jean-Luc's stagehand in his concert that night. And at that moment, while Jeremy Camp is kissing the rear end of Jean-Luc, he sees what might be an angel in the crowd. Caught up in the emotion of worship, she can't help but be taken away by this amazing dude. Whoa! In this light, with the smoke, with the music, and the Holy Spirit filling her, she just can't help herself. Jeremy. So after the show, Jeremy decides to approach the girl with this quippy, quirky, awkward, flirtatious banter. That's my favorite thing in Christian movies.
I saw you tonight. I mean, I was watching you. Watching?
You're watching me. Okay.
What's nice about it is that it distracts from the real dialogue, because that's not very good anyway. Joking aside, I don't mind it here. It's fine. It's a meet-cute situation.
Well, I sing too.
I just kind of wish at some point in the movie they'd get away from it. Will they? Let's find out.
Bye.
Wow. Well, Jeremy Camp might have struck out with Melissa, but he seems to be hitting it off nicely with Jean-Luc.
It's all about the songs. Write what you care about, what you're afraid of.
Is that what you write about? The truth?
Brother, I write love songs. To God. Mostly to God. Sometimes to a girl. I'm writing one right now for a girl, and this girl, man, she is...
Oh, no. Later, we see another flaw in Jeremy's character. I forgot about this one, sorry. To be fair, I don't know that the movie realizes this is a flaw either. Jeremy is doing what most douchebags in college do, sitting out there in the grass playing guitar. Nobody asked for this, nobody wanted this, but I'm gonna play my 3 songs. Girls, flock to him. Yes, come and listen. And lo and behold, it works. Perfect.
So you actually do sing.
You gotta understand, no girl in 1999 could resist a guy with a guitar, okay? I guess it would be like if a guy made dubstep beats.
I guess dubstep never dies.
How long is Britt Robertson gonna be able to keep playing teenagers? What is she, like 30 now? 30.
I have pretty high standards when it comes to music, but it's good.
I mean, it's better than that crap the real Jeremy Camp sings. And that's when she invites him to what she makes clear is not a date.
It's a date.
What? No, it's not a date.
Really?
Oh yeah, and you should bring your guitar as well.
Okay.
Not a date. Not.
But when Jeremy shows up, he's surprised to find it's not a date.
Told you it wasn't a date.
Ooh, he just got friend-zoned hard. And who can you believe is there at this not date? Jean-Luc.
How long have you been friends for?
Freshman year,
Yeah.
I was working at Sunset Point. And
Right at the restaurant. And then we kind of started this tradition, I guess, here.
Turns out it's actually a seance. Come on, Jeremy. Come prepare for the orgy and the human sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
But first you have to sign this paper that says you don't believe in God.
What? No!
Actually, though, you were truly my running part
And then
freshman
we
year.
kind of started this
I was working with a rock
tradition.
star and
I
getting
guess,
laid.
here.
Oh my gosh, I would leave right then. But Jeremy has more persistence than me.
This is Jeremy Camp, right? Jeremy. And he's going to sing for us. Do you have a song that you like?
He should play one of Jean-Luc's songs. That would be funny.
Find Me in the River.
Yeah.
All right, finally, we get to hear Jeremy Camp singing Nothing Like Jeremy Camp for the very first time.
Find me in the river.
Here's the thing about Jeremy Camp, to fill you guys in. Yeah, that's right, I'm helping you where the movie is not. I liked him before he was cool. He used to do rock music, early 2000s rock music, the kind of stuff that nobody listens to anymore and probably makes fun of, you know, like Nickelback type stuff.
Take my life, take my mind, take my soul.
I saw him live one time. It was at like Christ Fest or something like that. I'm not offended at all that this guy doesn't sound like Jeremy Camp, but if I was a big fan, I probably would be annoyed with this a little bit. Okay, you did a movie about Jeremy Camp with the guy who doesn't sound like Jeremy Camp. It reminds me a little bit of Adam Lambert when he sang with Queen earlier this year. Like, sure, Adam Lambert sounds good. He knows how to sing, but does he sound like Freddie Mercury? I don't know who loves this more, Jean-Luc or Melissa. All right, well, let's cut to the next morning. They randomly, accidentally bump into each other.
Hey, what are you doing here?
This is where I walk.
I guess the movie's implying that this isn't an accident. Jeremy just creepily figured out where she runs and showed up there, like Tiger King or something.
But
Am I the only one annoyed with the fact that every line this actress says is in that choppy stutter, like, oh, I'm shocked at this situation.
Okay, well, bet I could beat you.
I bet you could.
Yeah?
Quirky. Now Jeremy gets to ask her the real questions.
What's the deal with you and Jean-Luc?
It's complicated.
You would know that if Facebook had been invented yet.
How so?
You know, like that Avril Lavigne song.
I never felt that way about him.
What do you feel about me?
Dude, what? Look, if this guy was ugly, there's no way that a girl would put up with this.
What do you feel about me?
You just met. Later, at some point. I'm assuming we're still at September 1999. Cut to Jean-Luc performing another concert. But does this guy just play music at this one college all the time? Does he even go to this college? Maybe him and Britt Robertson went to school at the same time. 10 years later, this is their reunion. And that's when Jean-Luc gives Jeremy a huge opportunity to play one song.
Jeremy Camp.
This is it. This is the answer to the question, how do you make it? And as expected, Melissa can't even believe how amazing this guy is. He's so awesome. And if you didn't catch that from the way they filmed them constantly lustfully gazing at each other, here's this scene.
You were really amazing tonight.
Yeah?
Oh my.
I made a promise that I wouldn't get distracted this year, and you're very distracting, potentially.
I promise to who?
God?
Goodness, thank God. Thank him. Praise him that he made me such an average looking guy. No one man should have all this power.
So I understand you now.
What?
You don't like to disappoint people.
Okay, it's true.
Well, I'd be pretty disappointed if you didn't make out with me right now, so, But even a guy like Jeremy Camp, with his power of smolder and charm, isn't necessarily convincing enough for a girl.
I should just never look at you again.
Mayday, mayday, mayday! She's getting away! Mayday! Take evasive action! Mayday!
That is why you always keep in your back pocket the God card.
What if this is destiny? What if we were supposed to meet, and we were supposed to feel this way about each other, and God wants us to run towards it, not away from it? I mean, we wouldn't want to miss that, right?
What if God wants us to make out right now? I mean, we wouldn't want to miss that blessing, would we? You would think that this movie would notice these types of things. But no, that's not the center focus of the movie. So don't tell me that this guy's just perfect. And so, it's just so hard to make a movie about a perfect guy. Well, Melissa walks away from that without giving an answer.
The killings were extremely wicked. Shockingly evil. Vile.
But after sleeping on it and thinking about how hot Jeremy Camp is, Melissa has an eager answer for him.
I thought about it all night, actually.
She wants to receive the blessing of Jeremy Camp.
Okay. One date.
And of course, the date is to the planetarium. And here we finally learn something about Melissa. Cool, which is weird because Jeremy seems to be in love with her, but obviously it's just because she's hot, right? Since he hasn't learned anything about her.
You have not seen stars until you've seen them on the open ocean.
He's not even looking at the stars, he's just staring creepily at her.
What is it, a star?
Nope. It's a galaxy. See, our sun is one star in the Milky Way galaxy.
What? I don't get this. What is this trope? This is like the second or third time we've had a guy and a girl out on a date in a movie that I've reviewed, and the girl is like super into stars and the dude knows nothing about stars? I mean, what little boy doesn't like space? It's space!
God is so infinitely vast. And this is his painting.
Whoa. Deep.
And he knows my name.
But he also doesn't really talk to me directly, so he can forget and I wouldn't even know.
So that's how I see the world.
I've never met anyone like you before.
I'm just one star in an infinite galaxy.
I wonder if that's gonna come into play later.
Some stars shine brighter than others.
I guess that line would make a little bit more sense if we knew anything about her character outside of her saying how big space is. Doesn't matter. Stop worrying about those things, Kevin. It's a nitpick. Let's just get back to quips and small talk, okay?
Joshua Tree. Perfect album.
No way.
There's an Erwin Brothers cinema sin. Joshua Tree. Ding. All right, so our two lovebirds are dating now, but she doesn't really want to tell anybody just yet.
Could we just keep it between us for now at first, you know?
No, of course.
Right?
Of course.
I'd still like to continue being a tease for Jean-Luc. Thanks. Well, now it's time, of course, for a montage. Finally, the characters that we don't know very well get to know each other. Over there.
And I don't know, there's something about him.
I assume all the character development is happening underneath the tones of this song. Amazing.
We're just gonna get to know each other. That's it.
Wow, it's amazing how this girl that he met has made him literally no different at all. I guess that's why we just love her so much and hope nothing bad happens to her. Well, sometime later, while the three of them are on a date together...
I have a song that I'd like to play for you.
Then Jean-Luc asks for some alone time with Melissa.
Doesn't this all just bother you?
What, that you're dating two guys? Yeah, a little bit.
Are you wearing his jacket?
Oh, maybe that's why he doesn't have a problem with it. So they start having this argument about how he is wearing Jean-Luc's jacket.
It's not like I took it from him.
But their little argument's gonna have to wait because it gets interrupted by this family scene that has literally no point to the plot.
So how long you two been dating?
I guess they needed one more reason to get Shania Twain and Gary Sinise in the movie because literally they're fighting about the jacket. It's interrupted, and then they go right back to fighting about the jacket.
Why are you so mad?
I'm not mad. Give Jean-Luc his jacket back.
Look, lady, he doesn't want to give the jacket back because apparently Jean-Luc has had a bigger impact on his life than you have. So Jean-Luc has given Jeremy the big opportunity to record some songs in his studio. That's really nice. It's kind of sad that Jean-Luc is kind of made out to be this awkward third wheel in their life. He's basically given Jeremy every opportunity. So Jeremy is in the studio and he's singing this song. This is my desire to be used by you.
This is my desire to be used by you.
He's not talking about Jesus, that's for sure. I guess I kind of appreciate a movie that acknowledges the thing that South Park said, 20 years ago?
I love you, Jesus. I want you to walk with me. I take good care of your baby. Call you my baby, baby.
A lot of these Christian songs are just regular songs with baby and honey switched out for Jesus. It's weird because it's like it's aware, but it's still making a movie celebrating this very genre.
But I get lonely in the night and it's up to you to save me, Jesus, baby.
Look, if you think I'm out of line for bringing this up, Check this part out.
When did you write that?
Last night. After a conversation with a friend.
Jean-Luc.
I've been learning a new song.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Is that about God?
Not entirely.
That's funny, but it's funny to me. Like, if you are a huge, deep fan of this music, do you find that funny that, like, he's singing a song that's supposed to be for God to a girl?
I love you.
But then, that's when we see that...
I'm ready.
Jean-Luc!
For that,
Oh, man. Poor Jean-Luc. There goes all of Jeremy Camp's opportunities for Jean-Luc to make him a superstar. This is so awkward.
There's nothing to explain.
Hear me out.
You should have just told me the truth.
I think you guys are just gonna all have to become Mormon and marry each other. Every scene she's in seems like she's surprised that they're filming that day. Oh crap, the cameras?
Hi.
Well, because of all of this, she wants time to figure all of this stuff out.
Really don't want to see you right
Wait,
now.
hold on. What are you saying? We're breaking up?
But Jeremy Camp's like, shh, if you want time, baby, then forget it, okay? I know I've known you for half a semester. You're done.
But I don't want to see you for a while.
Just think about that during these messages. All right, we're back. Okay, well, it's been a really fun ride so far. I hope you got your big boy pants on because things are about to get heavy. While on Christmas break, everything goes wrong. Jeremy Camp gets a call from Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc?
We find out that Melissa is in the hospital and she's sick. Real sick. Get ready to cry. So Jeremy decides, that's it. This girl that I've known for half a semester, I can't let her just live her life. I gotta go see her. I just gotta. Which I can respect. This is how I actually won my wife over. She got her wisdom teeth out, and I drove all the way up to Virginia to hang out with her. And she was so drugged up, she didn't even know who I was. So I married her right then and there. You gotta strike when the iron's hot, okay?
The odds are not altogether in my favor.
She has cancer. Yeah. She's coping with it quite well. In fact, she gives the line that a lot of Christian filmmakers give to justify their films.
If one person's life is changed by what I go through, it will all be worth it.
Look, I feel like I have a whole channel that's kind of disputing that. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, do all negative occurrences ultimately have positive outcomes? I mean, I hear this line used to justify so much, and I just don't know if I agree. I'm not saying it's not something that Melissa in real life actually believed. I'm sure she really said this. She really believed it. I've seen it on a meme before, so it's gotta be true.
I mean, I want to be there for her and I want to help.
But I'm also in love with you, Jean-Luc.
There's only one question you need to answer. Can you live without her?
Look, I mean, if you can't live without her, then I think gonna be a little disappointed. And that's when he gives those wonderful trailer words that every girl wishes a guy would say to them.
Every step, every moment, I'm with you. I'm in. I'm so in.
Look, this might just be my super cynical side coming out right now, but like, I feel like these are the most Nicholas Sparks-esque lines, designed specifically to make girls fantasize. It's emotional porn. I wish I had a dreamy Hollywood-looking guy who would talk to me like that and who would be so dedicated to me that even if I was ugly or I had cancer or didn't even remember who he was, he would stick with me and love me no matter what. All the while ignoring what a weirdo he's been up until this point. And that's when he decides he's gonna marry her.
I love you, so marry me.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. So brave to want to marry someone, even if they have cancer.
Yeah, I'll marry you. I'll marry you.
But his parents don't seem to think it's such a good idea. What with her being sick and also they barely know each other.
You're only 20 years old. You just met this girl.
I love her.
But if I do this, I'll sell so many albums.
I'm supposed to be with her.
And that's when Shania Twain gives him her wedding ring. Now we've wrapped up the parents having any sort of qualms about him marrying Melissa. Good. So Jeremy now expresses to Melissa that he believes that God will heal her.
I believe God is going to heal you.
So this is kind of the direction that I was hoping we would go. I don't know. It's a little hard, I guess, when you're making a faith-based film to make your character somebody who has too much faith. Like when you're weak and you're, early on in your faith and nothing bad has really happened to you, you've never faced any sort of like real trials and hardships, then you're gonna have this kind of naive faith. As you go through hardships, you end up realizing that it's not just in right out, right up, right down, right happy all the time. And I feel like they didn't sufficiently paint Jeremy as somebody who has that inexperienced level of, I'm gonna be happy all the time because I have Jesus with me. Like, this is the kind of thing I wish they would have shown earlier on. Maybe it would be like when he gives his little brother the phone, he says something like, well, I know God's gonna provide me another one, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And then all of that comes crashing down when his world gets rocked like this. Because then when Melissa actually says that thing about faith and God knows who I am, it speaks to him and makes him grow as a person. All right, well, time for a cancer montage.
Everywhere I go.
Hey, it's Cameron Arnett. Ouch, my cancer, ow.
I want to introduce you guys to someone special tonight.
Guys, you were afraid that Jeremy wouldn't learn his lesson. Well, he finally has. We start to see the seeds of a man learning to use the tragedy of his fiance's cancer for his own benefit.
Earlier this year, we had some tough news.
Look how sad it's making his little fans.
Can we do something special for the most special person in my life tonight?
She is so super special. Just trust the movie on this. Have a little faith.
I believe that God still heals.
Probably shouldn't have to say this. I'm probably gonna get canceled though if I don't, so here we go. I'm not making fun of this situation. What I'm frustrated about is I'm watching a movie that's telling me how special a person is instead of showing me. Maybe if I read her book that came out, it would be interesting and I would learn so much about it, but like if I'm just taking the information the movie is handing me, not knowing anything about this story, it's not enough. And speaking of not enough, the chemotherapy isn't working.
So even after the chemotherapy, we're seeing growth in your scan.
Why do so many Christian movies end up being a barrage of sadness? It's sad. It's so sad. Well, when a Christian movie gets this sad, there's nowhere else you can go but the hospital chapel. Jean-Luc, I'm here for some reason. Oh, hey, Jean-Luc. So you're still hanging around, huh? But that's when everything goes wrong again.
Yeah. You got it.
What? I can't hear it. It's okay, everything's fine. It's the classic fake out.
Your cancer, it's gone.
I guess she's okay, and everything will always be okay, probably. And for some reason, Jean-Luc is talking about it on the radio?
I spoke to the doctor myself. There's literally no medical explanation.
I'm positive, encouraging K-Love. She's 100% cancer-free.
I guess Unplanned should have had this kind of product placement for K-Love. Then they get married. But on their honeymoon, everything goes wrong.
Something is really wrong.
It's spreading rapidly. It's all over our body.
It's just so sad.
There's nothing else we can do.
So for the next, 20, 30 minutes, it's just sad. Everything's sad. Well, after the being sad montage, Jeremy takes Melissa to the concert venue where they first met.
This is where I was standing when I fell in love with you.
On our first date, you said, some stars shine brighter than others. You know, the stars that shine the brightest?
Dying stars.
The death of a single star outshines everything else in the galaxy.
Shine your light and let the whole world see.
What if I'm not supposed to be healed?
Don't say that.
Don't you ever say that!
I want you to find someone else.
Don't.
So Melissa has to come to grips with the fact that she isn't gonna make it, and she has to communicate that to Jeremy.
Stop making promises that aren't yours to make.
I'm glad that there's this little bit of character growth here. He has to learn that sometimes God kills people. Sometimes he doesn't answer prayers the way you want him to, and my issue is not that. My issue is the fact that this movie just hasn't established this. Anyway, I'm just repeating myself, and the movie's just leading up to a specific moment. Let's move to that moment now. In that moment, she wakes up. She makes this proclamation.
I'm healed. It doesn't hurt anymore. I can't feel it. I think I'm okay.
Hey, lie down. I'll get the doctor.
You have to believe me.
And she dies. They're called death throes. It's sad. That's when we get what is legitimately my favorite scene with Jeremy. He's vulnerable, and he's weak, and he's struggling with his faith, and he's just trying to figure out why did God not answer his prayers? And it's a genuine, extremely valid question.
Dad, I begged God to heal Melissa. What am I supposed to do with that?
And I like the dad's answer.
I don't know the answers to your questions. And my life is not full in spite of the disappointments. It's full because of them.
I really appreciate lately that movies are willing to say, like, I don't know stuff, okay? I don't know. And this is good. It leaves the door open for people to ask questions. But Kevin, for a movie that's named after a song called I Still Believe, there must be some moment in Jeremy's life where he stops believing. Well, good news, everyone. For the next 2 minutes of this movie, Jeremy kind of struggles a little bit with his faith.
Why did you do this?
Remember who you are, Jeremy. Remember.
And that's when Jeremy destroys his guitar! No! But it turns out to be a good thing, because what does he find inside the guitar?
Jeremy, I know you'll find this someday.
Knowing the type of temper that you have, I knew eventually you'd get pissed off and you'd destroy this guitar.
I'm finally letting you read my journal.
I have one request. Please don't ever share the contents of this journal with anyone. Please, please don't publish it and sell it.
I've learned that suffering doesn't destroy faith. It refines it. When you're ready, pick up your guitar.
And swing away, Jeremy. No, you don't get to steal your dad's guitar. You had one, and you broke it. Just like you did with your wife. Also, it's like 5 seconds of him questioning his faith before he writes this song, I Still Believe. You didn't even get the words out to say that you don't believe before you say, I still believe. Well, fortunately for all of us, especially these teenage girls, Jeremy has the strength to get back out on stage. Thank God.
My name is Jeremy Camp. I met a girl named Melissa. She is and always will be the love of my life. She told me that if just one person's life was changed by her story, then it would have all been worth it. Just one.
I'll be that one person, Jeremy. But that's when we get the magical moment where he plays his hit single, I Still Believe. I still believe. To show that he still believes in Jesus after being sad. Even when I smash my guitar, I still believe. Whew, okay. This ends up being a whole music video, I guess. Jean-Luc can't even believe how awesome this guy is. Jeremy Camp is almost as amazing now as he was at the beginning of the movie. God is like the string section in a movie song performance. You can't see them, but if you listen, you can always hear them. Then, after the show, Jeremy is approached by one of his stalkers.
Jeremy.
Oh no!
You don't know me.
And neither does the film audience.
I feel like I knew her, your wife.
It's a little weird because they don't really fill us in also on who this lady is. She's actually the lead singer of a band, and this wasn't as creepy as the movie makes it seem. She actually ends up being Jeremy Camp's wife to this very day. Good for her. And as she walks away, stars! And the movie ends with all the amazing, awesome career hits that Jeremy Camp's gotten thanks to the death of his first wife. Wow. So important. I'm glad he sold all those copies of his albums and so many people came to his concerts. Look, I said this before. I get it. The idea here is, oh, well, if people came to the concert, then that means they got to hear Jesus. People wouldn't have done that if it wouldn't have been for this amazing, inspiring story. I guess you're right. Well, there you have it, everybody. That is I Still Believe. And do I still believe that this movie is not the greatest film ever made? I do still believe that. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. The Erwins, they really do know how to make a movie. And that's impressive. I actually am genuinely saddened that this movie didn't get to go out in theaters, because I would have liked to have seen how people responded to it. The fact of the matter is, the things that aren't good about it is the story. What they chose to pick out of the true story. I think that that's always been lacking in all three of the biopics that the Erwin brothers have done. Part of it is that, you know, they'll implement stuff that just isn't true. I think Jean-Luc was a little weird. It felt like they didn't know what to do with that character. Why is he hanging around? It's uncomfortable for all of us. We're like, go home, Jean-Luc, go back to French Canada. I think that the real life guy is probably a pretty chill dude. This story, I would say it's manufactured, but I know it's true, but it feels like they changed things from the real story that would have actually been more interesting in a movie. And I don't know why that is. What they've done here, the distillation of this story, makes it kind of a mediocre film. And so as a film, I would much rather watch A Walk to Remember. Like, it tugs more at my heartstrings because it built up characters that I'm interested in seeing go through things, where this didn't really build up characters that I find all that compelling. And so when tragedy strikes, when bad things happen to them, it just makes it feel heavy-handed. If they're interesting characters and you're invested in them as characters, then when tragedy strikes, it's like, oh, I'm feeling the emotion that the music is enhancing. All of that feels like it's all in its proper place. The fact that people die, that's really sad to me. And now you're putting that in my face. The fact that music can make me feel sad, that's here. But I wouldn't have felt any of that just based on the story alone that was presented here today. I hope all of that makes sense. I hope all my caveats make sense. Typically, I don't do that many caveats, but I think this is kind of nuanced. It's so much me kind of drawing the line between what is interesting about the real story and what is interesting about what they chose to take from the real story and put in the film. Yeah, that's what I think. All right, well, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this review. It really does help out the show, apparently. I've been told that. Talk to you guys later. Good night. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this. If you like the show, don't forget, you can support it. You could support it just by watching it. Obviously, that's a legitimate thing you can do. But you can also check out my Patreon, or you can basically spend the same amount of money and check out SGK Plus. You're supporting my show in the same way, but there's also bonus content there. Extra videos, live streams, live reviews. Wow. So if you want to experience that and everything else, don't forget to head over to there. A big shout out to some of the great people who make this show happen. The Voicey Here YouTube channel, Jacob and Emily Rugrock, Amanda Stewart, Isa Kabir, James Tuttle, and brand new this month, Lindsay Dunn at oneofmystories.com. She's a movie reviewer that believes in the power of stories to change lives, and she's a big fan of this show. Go check out her work, please. Go do it. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Take my life, take my life, take my life.
Bet I could beat you.
I bet you could.
Yeah?